Nassar is a US Lebanon Fellow at the Middle East Institute. He's with me now from Beirut. I'm grateful, sir, for your staying up late this evening. You just heard Ben saying that it would appear Israel is the locomotive here, and arguably one can say the booby-trapped devices was sort of the softening up, if you will, to sort of the later activity of the last 24 hours. How do you see it?
Look, thank you so much for inviting me and putting a spotlight on an increasingly concerning situation. As Hezbollah's Secretary General delivered his speech, Israeli planes breaking the sound barrier over Lebanon sent a loud message. Actions speak louder than words. Hezbollah finds itself in an extremely difficult position. Nasrallah tried to reassure his audience that Hezbollah remains a formidable force despite those massive attacks you referred to that took place this week. But his speech wasn't just directed to Hezbollah's base. It meant to hit home Hezbollah's main talking point since the start of this conflict, that it has effectively turned northern Israel into a de facto buffer zone, and that this week's attack, according to him, won't change that. He shows no sign of backing down or recalibrating Hezbollah's strategy to open a limited front with Israel in support of Hamas, a war that the vast majority of Lebanese do not want.
How weakened at the moment is Hezbollah? Because, as you know from the demonstrations that we saw in Lebanon some years ago, there's no great love lost in many parts of Lebanon for Hezbollah.
Look, scenes of thousands injured and widespread chaos that struck Lebanon certainly undermine Hezbollah's claim that deterrence was restored after the assassination of one of its most senior military commanders in Beirut earlier this summer. Israel has effectively demonstrated its growing military and intelligence capabilities, proving it can deeply penetrate Hezbollah's defenses and escalate on its terms.
But was anyone in any, being honest about that, was anyone in any doubt that Israel ultimately is the superior military intelligence power, and to a large extent, Hezbollah is at best going to have to rely on its own being the proxy for somebody else?
Look, what I see at the heart of your question, perhaps, is a sense of, are the words that we heard from Hezbollah enough? Or has Hezbollah's image taken a big enough hit to prompt Israel or even the United States to reconsider their next moves? Now, I want to stress this.
To what though? Sorry, let me interrupt you, sir. Let me interrupt you. Just forgive me, but I just want to find out, when you say Israel and or the United States to consider their next move towards doing what?
Well, look, it's a great opportunity to speak about the United States. The United States has been trying to stabilize this conflict since October, balancing diplomacy and moving strategic military assets when needed. But I think it's important to put into perspective what this conflict is about. Since October last year, Israel, Hezbollah, and Iran have been locked in a battle over the security balance established after the 2006 war. Essentially, that former security arrangement is being contested on the battlefield.
How does it, this is the question you can't answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How does it end, in a sense? Israel now seems quite determined that if Hezbollah continues with its cross-border attacks, Israel is just going to keep bashing away.
You know, you're asking the question I can assure you that everyone is thinking about in Lebanon. This has been a conflict, as I said earlier on, that has been for the most part largely localized. Now it's spiraling out of control. But I want to stress this. This country has already been battered by a series of crises over the past 5 years: financial collapse, the devastating port of Beirut blast, and now the looming threat of war. I'm here holding my breath, just like the millions around me. The vast majority of Lebanese do not want war. But what I would like to just end on this point, millions of ordinary people are powerless over such a fundamental and life-altering decision if their country goes to war.
I just want to ask you, just completely separately, how are people on an hour-by-hour basis responding with mobile phones, any form of electronic devices? Do you see people in restaurants basically sort of just shunning them and moving just in case something happens?
I haven't seen that myself, but I can certainly say there is panic, there is fear. Something that's very important to stress is that there's a lot of uncertainty, confusion of what this means. Is there a wider supply chain that has been infiltrated? There's a lot of uncertainty, certainly.
It's late for you now, and I'm sure you've got much more work to do, but I'm grateful for you for staying up and speaking to us. Thank you, sir.